hey, and I just gave her a big hug, and I think I scared her because she was like, hi. And then I just kind of had this awkward moment of like, did I just harass Brittany's?
Good afternoon, everyone. On this Friday, 7th November 2025, I've got all your stories lined up for the rush hour ride home. And we're going to have a bit of a party today. Plenty to get into, so let's coast through it together. You have to, really. There are only 7 weeks left in 2025, and let's be honest, you probably didn't achieve everything you set out to this year. Time flies, but hey, you're still standing. I am too. And that alone is something to be grateful for. We're certainly not doing as badly as some of the people we'll be talking about in this episode. We'll start with Mark Sanchez, who's just been fired by Fox Sports. Then we'll move on to an update following that dreadful podcast from the Vile Files. They've received quite a few angry emails from you lot. We'll get into that and also the latest on Justin Baldoni, as Heath responds with a scathing letter to the judge after Blake Lively requests to see more of his wife's home birth footage. What a strange world we live in. Later in the episode, we'll touch on Candace Owens, who's found herself in an influencer spat with another podcaster. You've got to love when people say, I don't like getting into podcast beefs, yet they can't help but talk about everyone else's. Isn't that what gossip culture's all about? And of course, we'll also cover some more serious topics like Snapchat and ICE. Very serious matters indeed. But first, let's round up all these stories coming your way right now on The Rush. We'll dive into the Baldoni situation in just a moment. But first, let's talk about this. Mark Sanchez has been let go by Fox following the stabbing incident. We don't yet have any updates on his trial or the charges, but when asked for comment, a Fox Sports spokesperson said, "We can confirm that Mark Sanchez is no longer with the network." Honestly, he probably had one of the easiest jobs in the world. Don't get me wrong, doing play-by-play commentary for the NFL isn't simple, but he was quite good at it. Being a former quarterback, he could read defenses easily. He'd already put in a lifetime's worth of work, so he could just coast, get paid, and watch football for a living. Now, he might be dealing with some other issues. Perhaps something going on neurologically, who knows. We'll talk about another NFL player later who's facing similar problems. But for now, how about this bit of drama? Earlier this week, we covered Millie Bobby Brown, who apparently filed a complaint against her Stranger Things co-star, David Harbour. But apparently, the boat is back in the harbor. That's a ridiculous metaphor, it doesn't even make sense. Still, we'll keep it in. Anyway, the two of them were seen together at the premiere, looking quite cheerful. It's been clarified that there were no sexual complaints involved. The issue, according to reports, was that she'd accused him of bullying her. Now, the real question is whether those complaints were true or not. They might have been. We've all had disagreements with colleagues, haven't we? There's a significant age gap between them, and whether she truly felt bullied or not, it seems they've made peace. So, there they were on the red carpet. We saw that reunion hug outside. When asked what they meant to each other, it was quite touching. He's like my dad. I'm so connected to him for life. We're so lucky to have each other. And when asked what he'd miss most about the series, David Harbour said, "The people. I love the people. They're my family. It's been really hard to think about life and work without them." There you have it. She sounded perfectly genuine. He's like a father figure to her. So perhaps she did file a complaint, perhaps he was a bit harsh, perhaps all that really happened. But the key thing is, they managed to move past it. And honestly, what makes you feel older than seeing Millie Bobby Brown as an adult? It feels like Stranger Things premiered just yesterday, when she was that little girl with the shaved head. And now she's 21, married to John Bon Jovi's son, of all people. The world moves quickly, doesn't it? Right, let's move things along. Now, before I dive into this Baldoni story, and just to be clear, this isn't me throwing any shade at the podcast I'm about to mention. They actually ask some very sharp questions. It's quite fitting to play this next clip on the heels of the Millie Bobby Brown HR story. Because when you're working alongside someone and an issue arises, that's exactly what human resources are meant for, isn't it? This particular podcast discusses Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, raising questions I happen to know the answers to. Have a listen. He was her director, her co-star in a role where he played her abuser. And he was also her producer, 3 different power positions. And now, on the flip side, she's the bigger name, coming from old Hollywood. But should anyone ever feel uncomfortable, even with an intimacy coordinator present? It's not like a typical workplace. You don't really have HR on a film set. And she's right. The dynamic between Baldoni and Blake Lively wasn't anything like a normal workplace. Even though Justin Baldoni did absolutely everything he could to prevent HR complications, hiring an intimacy coordinator and putting all the proper structures in place, perhaps he could have gone further. Though, to be fair, I don't blame him. He genuinely seemed to try. Still, something as small as the tone of his voice in a voice note came across the wrong way and triggered a whole chain of misunderstandings. But in truth, there are plenty of systems in place to prevent these issues on set. There's the Screen Actors Guild. I've been a member for nearly 20 years. They're essentially your legal safeguard, there to support and represent you. Whether it's something serious or something as trivial as not getting a long enough lunch break or a lack of shelter when it's raining during filming, you can go to them for help. That's what they're there for. And chances are, if you're Blake Lively, an A-lister, there's going to be someone on hand, either full-time or at least on speed dial. On top of that, she's got her agent, her manager, her assistant, her husband, plenty of people to turn to if an issue arises. What's notable, though, is that there's no screen grab, no record whatsoever of her having a problem in real time. I've said this before. If my wife were at work and the thermostat was wrong, she'd let me know immediately. Too cold, too hot, drafty, uncomfortable. On a small production like this one, you'd notice if someone was struggling. It's really just him, Jamie Heath, and maybe a few assistants. So where would someone even go? Even in a normal workplace, if someone feels uncomfortable, the expectation is that there's an HR equivalent, someone you can safely approach without fearing that they're just in the boss's pocket. And that's key here. As you said, Baldoni occupied 3 overlapping power roles: director, co-star, producer, yet even that couldn't compete with Blake Lively's influence. It's fascinating nonetheless, and the fallout is coming. Fallout, boys. We're going down. Fallout from the Justin Baldoni video that Nick Viall produced. I've had hundreds of messages about it. One person texted me saying they almost tore their hair out listening to Nick Viall's take on Blake versus Baldoni. People sent strongly worded letters, many copy-pasting the same message, though he's unlikely to read them. That's the thing with Nick. He prefers not to hear from anyone because of all the criticism he receives. Fine, that's his choice, but it emphasizes the need for better producers to help him navigate the truth. Trust me, if I get something wrong, I hear about it. For example, defending Billy from Firefest, only to be corrected by the audience. You learn as you go. Nick, however, has taken multiple victory laps over what turned out to be misinformation. It's almost comical. Someone can climb so high in success and still trip over basic accountability. He's clearly successful, and maybe his audience doesn't care, but a glance at the comments under that video shows that some people certainly do. I'll leave it at that. Certainly do. I'll leave it at that. Hit the subscribe button if you value the fact that we're genuinely trying to get it right, because I don't think he's really trying to do anything himself. Right, moving on. Sean Kingston is now petitioning for a pardon. Soulja Boy, Jack Doherty, and Safari are reportedly seeking a presidential pardon for the singer and his mum, Janice Turner. As you probably know, both Sean Kingston and his mother have faced multiple years in prison for defrauding people over electronics. A very bizarre situation. They claim, of course, that they're good people, perfectly fine. Honestly, it raises the question, should the president even have pardon power? Maybe I should have it instead. For example, to free Tiger King. And if we're going to pardon Soulja Boy, maybe we could do a little hostage swap and get Tiger King out too, so Netflix can launch a new season. Allegedly, Carol Baskin murdered her husband, but who really knows? Anyway, let's move on. Earlier, we covered that grim story about Mark Sanchez in the NFL and the brutal stabbing he endured, which was linked to mental health struggles. Tragically, this week, another NFL player, aged just 24 from the Cowboys, took their own life. I didn't cover that at the time, but it highlights how much there is to learn. Aaron Hernandez, once on the Patriots, committed murder and later took his own life in prison. Afterwards, it emerged he had chronic CTE, severe brain damage caused by repeated hits. Antonio Brown, also briefly with the Patriots, is now in custody for attempted murder. His career spiraled after a series of troubling incidents, including quitting mid-game with the Dolphins. Many people believe it all stems from one particularly bad hit he took. The reality is that football players endure immense physical punishment, and the consequences on their mental health are often overlooked. I watch football every week, and I don't have a solution, but I do love it, especially now that my Patriots are good again. Go Pats! And honestly, nothing annoys a Boston fan more than the team finally winning again. But looking at these tragedies, it's clear something is going wrong inside these athletes. We tend to ignore it and just send them to jail when in fact we should be researching brain damage far more thoroughly. My worry is that because football is the most popular and profitable sport in the country, if they did proper research, it would reveal just how many bodies are being sacrificed gladiator style for the entertainment of fans on a Sunday. I hate to sound grim, but that's the reality. Let's dive in. I'm going to bring you the latest wild updates on Blake Lively. We've got a response from Justin Baldoni's team, Heath, following her demand to see his water birth videos. Stick around for this. Before we get into the drama, a quick word from today's sponsor, Veracity. Veracity is an all-natural way to slim down, boost energy, and sharpen focus. It targets metabolism, the root cause of so many health issues. Their drug-free, clinically proven, doctor-formulated solutions support your body to live your healthiest life. Try Metabolism Ignite, the #1 doctor-recommended GLP-1 booster and GLP-1 alternative. It's plant-based, safe, and free from allergens, clinically proven to reduce hunger by 85% and help users lose an average of 9 pounds in 90 days. Key ingredients include lemon, verbena, hibiscus extracts, green coffee bean extract, and magnesium. It's safe to take alongside GLP-1 medications to help boost metabolism and control appetite. Head to Veracity Self-Care. Come and use code RUSHHOUR for up to 45% off your order. That's Veracity Self-Care. Come with promo code RUSHHOUR. Veracity isn't just a quick fix. It's a tool for long-term, healthier living. Now back to Blake Lively. One of her original accusations against Justin Baldoni was that he and others sent her nude videos on set as part of a boys' club locker room environment, behaving in a typical jock-like frat manner. However, as we've learned, the videos she referred to were actually water birth videos from a member of the Wayfarer team. The video shown to Blake was during a birthing scene. It wasn't a private recording of anyone's wife giving birth. It was an emotional scene intended for recreation. Despite that, Blake responded by demanding more, claiming the footage shown wasn't the full video. Justin Baldoni's team pushed back, saying, essentially, "We sent you what we showed you. That's it. You cannot fish around for more." Their strongly worded response to the judge reads, "Dear Judge, the plaintiff asked the court to impose draconian sanctions against defendant Millie Heath pursuant to federal civil procedure rules. Specifically, Lively seeks an order compelling Mr. Heath to produce all video footage depicting the birth and precluding him from offering any evidence, including testimony about showing the video to Miss Lively. Lively fails to meet the requirements for these severe sanctions. 2 fatal flaws. She never requested this footage during discovery, and there is no clear court order compelling production of the full birthing videos. The order only directed production of the video specifically requested in Lively's discovery request." The response continues, addressing Lively's allegation in paragraph 101 of the Wayfarer complaint. Lively falsely suggested she was shown pornography or nude images of Heath's wife on set. In reality, the first image in the video shows Heath's wife and their newborn after a natural home birth. The claim that Heath played a fully nude video with her legs spread apart is simply untrue. In short, Justin Baldoni's team is making it clear the dramatic claims don't hold up under scrutiny, and Lively's motion for sanctions is fundamentally flawed. This is not inconsistent with the post-delivery video shown to Lively. Essentially, yes, the video shows nudity and a birth, but not in the way she described. A few clips were shared by Baldoni's team to clarify this. Lively argues that she should be allowed to comb through highly intimate footage to find parts that support her claim that she was shown the actual birth, when, in fact, she was not. The intrusion into such sensitive and personal moments of a woman's labor cannot be justified merely on her assertion that she might find what she claims she saw. In short, Lively fails to demonstrate that she is entitled to private footage of Natasha Heath giving birth. especially as she only requested the short video showing Heath and her newborn immediately post-delivery. Lively did not seek clarity on the scope of the order. Yet, in what has become a recurring habit, she asks the court to impose the harshest possible sanctions, including orders that would prevent evidence relevant to Heath's defense against her harassment claim. This is just one in a series of motions in which, recognizing that discovery produced no evidence supporting her claims, Lively seeks adverse inferences or preclusion orders that would remove the need for her to prove her case by eliminating evidence favorable to the defense. She wants her cake and to eat it too. Nothing appeared in discovery, yet she demands more videos. The birthing videos have minimal, if any, relevance. Heath does not dispute showing Lively a post-delivery video of his nude wife holding their newborn daughter. The question of precisely what she saw cannot be resolved by producing all the birthing videos. A jury will decide based on witness credibility, not whatever she might cherry-pick from multiple recordings. The only result of producing all the footage would be an extreme intrusion into a highly personal experience, causing undue distress to Natasha Heath. This brings to mind the video Nick Viall produced, portraying Blake as the victim despite all the evidence. In reality, the victims here, apart from Justin Baldoni and Steve Sowitz, who have had to endure significant stress, are Heath's wife, Natasha. While she may not have minded her husband sharing the video with Lively during production, it's a proud, miraculous moment. Now it is being used in court to cast judgment. To twist a happy, intimate moment into a weapon, that does not sit right with anyone. It would be extremely difficult for a jury to view such footage with any lens other than its intended purpose, as motivation for the scene. Given all this, I haven't booked my ticket to New York for March yet, although I will attend if the case proceeds to trial. Hit the subscribe button. I cannot imagine Blake Lively navigating a trial with all this information coming to light, yet tens of millions of dollars are still in play, so we'll see what happens. If it does go to trial, we'll have to see whether cameras are permitted. I doubt it. My plan would be to live stream during the day and cover proceedings from the courthouse as developments are released. Not that interviews will be possible, but I want to follow the case closely. Subscribe. If we hit 100,000 subscribers, I'll be there, honoring my commitment. I'll also be in New York in early December for some stand-up shows. Visit rushhourwithdave.com for tickets or follow me on Instagram at Dan Niels. Coming up next, some juicy drama. Candace Owens is embroiled in a feud with another podcaster over her earnings and the finances of Turning Point USA following the untimely death of Charlie Kirk. That story is next. That story is next.